what is status and why is it important to women? When it comes to dating and women, status is basically how well regarded you are by other people, especially people who you respect and who the community respects, even if it's a small community of just the people she knows. Why is status important? Well, here's something you probably haven't heard before. When you're well regarded by other people who are respectable in her world or the community, basically they've done the filtering for her. So she has less to filter for if you're already well regarded by others. Now, you'll be happy to know you don't have to be a celebrity to have status. In fact, all you need is a social circle. You don't even have to be the life of the party. You don't even have to have lots of friends, but you do need to have a few close connections. It shows her other people have filtered and found you socially acceptable, which actually takes some of the pressure off her to be your whole social world as well. So you'll do yourself a major favor by cultivating a few close connections, friendships. Now I hear you saying, but how do I do that, Anna? Here's an example. One of the guys who did my Wake Up to Love program loves hiking. He's an introvert. So he started a hiking meetup group, co-ed, and because he genuinely loves hiking and feels most relaxed in nature, he was able to become a natural leader and was regarded by the group as fun and personable. And this brings us to the next tip, because status isn't just about having friends, it's also about leadership. Because even independent, boss babe feminists want a guy who can lead some of the time. And more traditional women actually prefer the man lead most of the time, while taking her feelings into consideration, of course. And why is leading important? Again, it shows you can actually maneuver and handle yourself in the world, and she can count on you when stuff comes up that she maybe can't deal with, which is going to happen in a relationship for both parties at some point in time. But also, it takes the pressure off her to always have to make those decisions. And key point, it allows her to relax and de-stress and lean into her genuine and generous feminine side. Women are attracted to leaders, so why not be the leader of your own destiny by starting your own meetup group for a hobby or passion that you're interested in? For example, I suggested to another guy in my program who loves food and is a foodie that he start a meetup group on foodie, like going to restaurants and whatnot. So the suggestion was co-ed. That way he can meet other people who have the same interests as him, building a social circle. Starting the meetup group shows leadership, and having it co-ed allows him to potentially meet women who are interested in the same thing he is, while also making them feel safe in a group setting. So that's where it starts. The idea is to take the group home. So eventually it becomes a cooking class or a cooking events where you can do potluck at each person's home. And by doing that, you introduce friends to your own home. Eventually, when you get to cook for her alone, she's already going to feel comfortable in your space because she's been there before. Key point, women's primary need is what? Yes, to feel safe, physically and emotionally. And going from eating out to eating in actually ties into my next tip. Now, this is the one where a lot of guys have a little bit of a wrong idea. So it's about money. Heating things up in the kitchen not only shows her you have a passion and leadership skills and impresses her if you actually know how to cook something, but it also saves you some money. Money is important to women. You heard that right. But it's not about being a millionaire. Why is money important to women? Well, I've already given you a hint twice. Women's primary need is what? To feel safe. Financially, emotionally, physically, the works. So it's more about the stability and security that money brings. Not only that, but men who are able to achieve some level of financial security, not necessarily wealth, have specific traits that women find admirable. The biggest one being commitment. You have to be committed to actually getting ahead in the world financially. Do women like commitment if they're looking for a long-term relationship? Pardon me? Can't quite hear you. Yes, they do. But you can demonstrate financial responsibility in a number of different ways that don't spoil her rotten or break the bank and make you spend more than you actually can afford. You can work to advance your career. You can start a side hustle. You can manage your finances like a pro and work on becoming debt-free. Bonus, no debt, no hoe. And remember, these are things you want to do for you, never mind anyone else. Again, remember, high-value women, the kind of woman you desire, values the character traits that allow you to become financially secure, because she knows even if you lose it all, you'll be able to get back on your feet. And she won't have to live where? Right, under a bridge. And this actually reminds me of the rock bottom story. She leaves a guy at rock bottom. More on that later in the videos. Stay tuned for that, super important. In the meantime, as an example, I know a guy who started a small side hustle making leather jewelry and wood art. Not wood art. He's actually quite naturally creative and crafty in a crafty kind of way. So not only did he enjoy it, but he was also able to make enough extra bucks to buy a boat. Now he loves fishing, and that's not necessarily the best way to meet a woman, but it makes him happy, and he's able to bring it up in conversation if he so chooses, which not only shows incentive, but also his creative side and something that he has a passion or interest in, and proves that he can save up for something important. Do women want a man who can save up for something important? Probably, right? If you're thinking about having a family, if she's thinking about having a family, then being able to save for something is going to be important to her. Now, something else he's also particularly good at is this next tip: appearance. Ain't gonna lie, appearance is important to women. But unlike a lot of guys think, you don't have to be 6 feet tall with six-pack abs to be physically attractive to her. To women, it's less about your physique and how you put the whole package together and how you carry it. Key point: men and women are different in some ways. Now here's a truth that you may not agree with, but I'm gonna back it up with some points you'll be like, oh yeah, right, okay, maybe that's true. All right, so men care less about women's fashion and more about what's hiding under it. Whereas brain scans, studies, and the proliferation of men's nudie magazines and porn clearly indicate that men are more interested in the actual physical looks of a woman than women are of the same thing in men. Okay, so why is appearance important to women then? Because it shows your state of mind and how much you care, never mind about what other people think. Let me explain. If you dress like a slob, are excessively overweight, never bathe or brush your teeth, eat garbage all day long, that says something about you. Sorry guys, but you know it does. It not only says how much you care or don't care in general, but also how long you might live or not live. Women are looking for long term. If you want to keep her, she's going to be looking for down the road. Are you going to survive? Are you going to die? Is she going to live under that bridge? She is not going to feel safe if your choices are rocketing you to an early grave. And before you say women are all shallow and just looking for Chad, let's put the shoe on the other foot, namely your foot. Do you want a woman who's a slob, excessively overweight, doesn't brush her teeth or bathe, eats garbage all the time? Exactly. And even though hot does not equal high value, you probably want someone who cares a little bit about their health and appearance. Same goes for women. And while some guys think they need to be in perfect shape, that's not actually the case unless she's excessively insecure or vain. If you are looking for a low-value, shallow throwback, you're on the wrong channel. Otherwise, you can elevate your physique by working out, by dressing well for your body type, eating healthier, grooming yourself. Dressing well does not mean dressing expensive. For example, some of the guys who took my Wake Up to Love program who had slacked in this department started getting healthier by eating better and, yep, hitting the gym. These are the easiest things you can do to get started. And as a result, they gained more energy, they gained more confidence, their skin cleared up, they balanced their hormones, and they looked and felt way better. And you know what? It boosted their confidence and changed their interactions with women. Which brings us to the next tip: confidence. Yes, confidence is key, but key point: confidence isn't about being loud or obnoxious or even overly alpha. True confidence is actually about being non-needy, not desperate, and comfortable in your own skin around other people and in the world. Why is confidence important to women? When you value yourself and exude self-assurance, women will value you too. I've said in many other videos, women mirror your feelings about you. Because when a man isn't needy, he's choosy, and selective is the opposite of desperate. Key point: she knows if you're choosy and choose her, then she's potentially worthy of you. And she also trusts your interest is actually sincere and you're not going to just level up when your self-esteem increases and you find out, oh, I can have who I want to have. If you're already in that mindset and you choose her, she trusts that you're actually going to be loyal to her. Said another way, she knows you have other options, but you chose her. All of these things that the guys mentioned did are things that helped them build their true confidence. But there are other things you can do that are specific to you and your life. My Wake Up to Love program will help you find the specific solutions to where your blind spots are. You don't need every woman, you just need the right woman for you. Key point, some of the things you do won't work for every woman. That's actually good news because that's part of your filtering process. Remember, you don't have to be a celebrity or some hotshot. A lot of good women just want a regular, normal guy who has some of these qualities to some degree and who isn't desperately needy. If you want help developing these qualities where you need it most, then you definitely want to consider my Wake Up to Love program because it's actually going to focus on the areas of status in all of these categories where you need it the most for you, never mind anybody else. And it's a one-time cost and you have access forever. If you fully commit to doing the work in my program, all the homework, then you can actually start feeling like a totally different man in just a few weeks. But fair warning, some of the homework is uncomfortable. You're going to be doing some work at home and you're going to be doing some work out in the real world. It's going to get you out of your comfort zone. Where does life begin? Right, out of your comfort zone. So if you want to become irresistible to women, then check out my program today. And if you've already done my program and you've slacked in any of these areas, then you'll want to review some of the points in it so that you can get back on track. If you found this video helpful and want to see more videos like it, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to know what happened to the guy who was left at rock bottom, you're going to want to watch my video on She Leaves a Guy at Rock Bottom. You're going to want to watch that because there was the guy that got left and then there was Bob who was in the same predicament, didn't get left behind. No. So be like Bob. Watch that video. Thanks for being here. God bless.